Hello everybody. I've been asked by a couple of people if I can show some simple routines that they can follow on a daily basis at home. So I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to try and keep it to around 20 minutes where we go through the really basic and most common of the yoga moves. The other point I want to make as we go through this is that yoga is a union of mind, body and soul. So if your body isn't ready or it doesn't feel like doing it, please listen and respect it. It's not competitive. I'm not going to be showing you the sort of poses that you'd necessarily want to put up as pictures. And the asanas, or the poses, are just one part of 8 limbs of yoga. So they're not everything. So if it's a day when you're feeling tired or can't quite connect, try a meditation. You can find lots, and I will put a couple up over time on here. You could also try just a breathing practice, a pranayama, which is, again, different breathing techniques, learning to either hold or control the breath. Or you could try a yoga nidra. I've got one of those ready to go up. There is actually already one on this site, but I will put up another yoga nidra session, which is basically yogic sleep. And they reckon for every hour of yoga nidra you complete, then it's almost equal to 4 hours of rest for your body. But today we are focusing on the asanas and the poses, so I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. The most important thing is always to be comfortable and to listen to your body. So you can start in any seated position. If it's most comfortable to have your feet out in front of you and flexed, that's fine. Cross-legged. I can't demonstrate lotus because I can't do it. You can also use blocks. Blocks are quite good. They're little foam blocks. You can pick them up. TK Maxx and Decathlon if you're in the UK, certainly. But they're really quite good because the idea is that we actually drop knees to sort of hip level, or actually preferably below hip level. So blocks are quite good to sit on. So you can do cross-legged, or you can try the hero pose, which is sort of basically a kneeling pose, but again, kneeling on a block, knees in. You can even try your feet out for this one, for hero pose, but whichever feels most comfortably for you. So I'm going to actually start seated in what we call easy pose or cross-legged. Okay, and there are different mudras or different hand shapes for different chakras that we work with. But for the sake of today, I'm literally going to use the most common one, the one you see on lots and lots of pictures, where you can again always rest palms up to receive energy, or down if you want to feel more grounded. But it's middle finger to thumb, and the rest of the fingers sort of point out, and they rest either upwards or downwards on your knees. The reason we try to keep 2 fingers connected, i.e. your thumb and a finger, is because it's supposed to keep the energy within us. The other important thing is to keep a really straight spine. If you're starting to sit like this because your core's tired, then we'll do some core work. No, but find a different position. The idea is to keep your spine straight, not shoulders up. Try to keep shoulders down and back. And if it feels good and you're ready, close your eyes. And the reason we close our eyes is because it enables us to focus inward, to actually connect with our body, with our mind, with our spirit, and connect with ourselves. So to start with, just focus on your breathing, trying to focus on a natural breath as you feel it rise and fall. Now here, as you're actually on the mat and listening to yourself, let's try 3 cleansing breaths to let go of whatever's happened in your day, or whatever it is you need to do. This is 20 minutes for you. So inhale through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. And again, inhaling through the nose. And one more. And again, go back to focusing on the breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And try to lengthen your breath now to help you connect. Sometimes it helps to count. Your count will be as long or short as it is and feels comfortable for you. Maybe 4 in, 4 exhale, 6 inhale, 6 exhale, whatever suits you. Try it for yourself just to bring yourself centered and onto the mat. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes and come back into the room. So in yoga, we always start with warm-ups just to make sure that we don't actually damage or hurt any of our muscles. Please, I can't stress to you enough, just listen to your body. In a seated position, arms out to the side. We're just going to inhale, arms up, palms together. Exhale, down. This time as you inhale, you might want to gently raise your head up and look at your palms, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, arms down. One more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and down. Let's try some side stretches. Inhale, arms up. As you exhale, left arm down or left hand down, right arm over. Try to keep it over your head. Try not to flop forwards or backwards. Feeling lovely long stretch up the right side of your body. And inhale to center. As we exhale, drop right hand down, left arm over, stretching down the left side of your body. Inhale up, exhale, arms down. We're just going to try some gentle twists and rotations to make sure that not only are we relaxed up and down, but we're actually relaxed side to side. So inhale, arms up. As we exhale, right hand behind your right buttock, look over your right shoulder, left hand behind your knee. Inhale to center. Exhale, right hand behind left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale to center. Twist to the right on an exhale. Inhale to center. Twist to the left. Inhale to center. Twist to the right. Inhale to center. Twist to the left. Inhale to center and arms down. From here, we're going to come into a tabletop position. I'm actually going to go sideways on so you can see what I'm doing. Your knees go underneath your hips. Hands go underneath your shoulders, your fingers spread wide, middle finger pointing forwards, and try to keep your weight through your fingertips and palms. Try not to sink it all onto your wrists. And from here, as we inhale, going to curl your tailbone up, drop your abdomen down, and your head is the last thing to lift. And as you exhale, curling your tailbone down, lifting your abdomen up, your head is the last thing to drop. Inhale, tailbone lifts, abdomen drops, head goes up. Exhale, tailbone curls under, abdomen lifts, shoulders round, heads drop down. This is called cat-cow. So as we go into cow, lift your tailbone, head, exhale to cat, curl your tailbone under, round your shoulders, drop your head. One more, inhaling as you curl upwards and exhaling as you curl down. And then inhale and come back to a neutral tabletop position. From here, as we inhale and we exhale, we're going to drop our sit bones back to our heels into child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, drop your sit bones back, stretch your arms to child's pose. Inhale up. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale up. exhale to child's pose. One more. Inhale up, exhale to child's pose. Remember, this is a pose that you can always come to, forehead on the floor. And if stretching your arms out in front begins to make your shoulders ache, you can bring them in and rest your forehead on the back of your hands. Really good resting pose, really good for your spine, helps you connect with the earth. Balasana or child's pose. From here, inhale back to tabletop, checking again that your knees are underneath your hips, your hands are underneath your shoulders. As we inhale, we'll stretch our feet back to a plank. As we exhale, we're going to put our knees down, our chest and chin down, keeping our elbows close to our rib cage, and slide forward until we're laying on the floor. As you inhale, you can come up into a low cobra. Elbows hug the ribs, only go as far as is comfortable. It is a back bend. Elbows bent. If you're a little more experienced, you may get to straight, but on the first one, I would only lift to elbows bent. It's called cobra position. Inhale here, and as you exhale, go back through tabletop, curl your toes under, and we're going back to downward facing dog. Now in downward facing dog, hands are hip distant, shoulder distant apart, fingers spread wide, pushing into the mat, fingertips, palms and wrists. Your shoulders away from your ears, and your chest is pushing back towards your knees. Your tailbone is to the sky. I'm just going to come side on so that those of you can see it is absolutely fine to keep your knees bent. The most important thing is that tailbone is lifting towards the sky in downward facing dog, and try to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Here, inhale and come back to plank, and then try to step. You might inch it forward or bring it forward in one. Your right foot forward and drop your left knee down. If you keep your toes curled under on your mat, it will help you with your balance. We're going for a low lunge. Inhale and arms up. If you find this too much, another variation, hands on your hips, or even hands clasped behind you. Okay, whichever one feels good for you. We are aiming to feel a stretch here. Don't push your knee further forward than your toe. Stretch out. If necessary, move your foot forward. Okay, inhale, arms up, shoulders away from ears. Inhale to extend. Exhale, frame your front foot with your hands on the mat. Inhale, we're going to step back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin down, slide forward. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, roll over your knees, push back to downward facing dog. Checking that your fingers are pressing into the mat, shoulders are away from your ears, tailbone is to the sky, chest is pushing back. It's fine to have your knees bent, aiming to press your heels slowly down towards the floor, but they may not reach the floor. Inhale, look between your front hands. As you exhale, again begin to step your left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, arms up into low lunge. If it's too much, hands on hips, clasp your hands behind you, whatever works for you. Inhale here. Exhale, frame your front foot. Inhale, lift your knee off, step back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin down, slide forward. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over your knees and toes to downward facing dog. If it helps, you can take a little walk of the dog here, lifting your feet one at a time, stretching it out, feeling your hamstrings stretch. Come to a static downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your front hands, and you can either walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hand into forward fold. Again, it's fine to have a bend in your knees. It's absolutely fine to bend your knees. We are aiming with time to bring our abdomen towards our thighs. Forward fold. If it helps, take hold of the opposite elbows and have a little rock from side to side. Hands down. As we inhale, gradually coming up, vertebrae at a time. Right, we're going to take what we call mountain pose. Ideally, your big toes touch and your heels might just twist out just a little bit. It's almost like being pigeon-toed. Engage your knees, pull your knees up, engage your thighs. Hands pointing downwards, muscles are engaged, shoulders are away from ears, mountain pose. We're going to do a sun salutation. So as you inhale, take your arms up and look at your palms. As you exhale, bending from your hips, reaching forward, hands down towards the floor. As you inhale, place your hands on your knees or shins, look up to a flat back. Exhale, bending back to forward fold. As you inhale, step back into plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin down, keeping your elbows hugging your ribs. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, roll over your knees and toes into downward facing dog. We're going to try and take 5 breaths here. 1, pushing your fingers, your palms, hands into the mat. 2, shoulders away from your ears. 3, tailbone to the sky. 4, chest pushing back towards your thighs. 5, heels stretching down towards the mat. Inhale and look between your hands. As you exhale, step forward into forward fold. Inhale, hands on knees or shins, flat back, look up. Exhale, forward fold. And as you inhale, come all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands down by your side. From here, we're going to go into warrior 2. So as you inhale, lift your right foot and step it back. The back of your right foot, it should be parallel with the back of the mat. Left knee, make sure it's going out over towards your left toes. You're going to tilt your pelvis forward. Imagine there's a wall behind you. Arms, you can look behind you, check they're both at shoulder level. Looking out over your front hand, your left hand in this case. Left knee's forward, left hand forward. Keeping all your muscles engaged. As you inhale, reach slightly towards your left, and as you exhale, lift your left arm up over your head, and your right arm can either slide down your back right leg, or it can tuck behind you to a reverse warrior 2. Inhale, back to warrior 2. As you exhale, put your left elbow on your left knee and bring your right arm overhead, looking towards the palm, into extended side angle. Inhale, back to warrior 2. As you exhale, turn into high lunge, frame your left foot. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin down, and slide forward, keeping your elbows close to your ribs. Inhale to an upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over your knees and toes to a downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands and either walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. As you inhale, come back to standing. Going to repeat on the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg, step it to the back of the mat. Make sure 90-degree angle, so it's parallel with the back of your mat. Your right foot, the heel should line up either with the back of the left heel or the middle of the left foot. When you know your right knee is pushing out over your right toes and you've tucked your pelvis forward, extend your shoulders. By all means, have a glance over each arm, check that they're level with your shoulders. All your muscles are engaged. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. As you inhale, reach your right arm slightly forward, and as you exhale, up over your head. You can curl your left arm either behind your back or slide it down your back leg into reverse warrior two. Inhale back to warrior two. As you exhale, right elbow onto right knee. Inhale, lift your left arm overhead to extended side angle. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, frame your front foot to plank, to high lunge. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin down. Slide forward, elbows in. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over your knees and toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands and step forward. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, coming back to mountain. From here, I can just show you one more pose. With an inhale, step so your feet are wider than your hip distance apart. Keep toes pointed forward. Do not try to point your toes out to the side. Keep the sides of your feet parallel with each end of the mat. If you need to, bring it in a little bit narrower. Inhale with your hands on your hips, look up. And as you exhale, stretching forward and down into a wide-legged forward fold. Your hands can come to the mat. Ideally, your toes are in line with your hands. Allow your head to drop. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, engage halfway and come up gently. Step to the front of the mat. From here, we're just going to try some closing stretches. I promise to keep it short. So inhale, arms up. As you exhale, bend forward to the mat and come and sit back down. Sit with your feet and legs straight out in front of you. Now, if you've got an old belt or a yoga strap, sometimes this can be useful. If you put it around your toes of your feet and hold it, you can keep your back straight. The idea of using a strap is it enables you to keep your spine straight. Inhale, lift up, and as you exhale, work your hands forward, pulling down so that you can go into a forward fold. Keep looking at your big toe. You are aiming to bring your chin towards your shins. Try not to round your back and your spine. Try to keep shoulders back, looking at your big toes. With each exhale, you may be able to drop a little bit further. Inhale, come back to seated. From here, we're going to do the supine twists. So gradually exhaling vertebrae by vertebrae, come down, back onto the mat. Put your arms out to each side of your body like a giant T, or you can bend at the elbows if you haven't got quite enough room, which I haven't in this room. Okay, and bend your knees. Inhale. As you exhale, drop your knees to your right, but look over your left shoulder. With this, ideally, both of your shoulders stay on the mat. Inhale to center, and as you exhale, drop your knees to the left side, your head looks to the right, again keeping your shoulders flat on the mat. Inhale to centre, exhale here. As you inhale, you may wish to point your toes away, arms up overhead, nice long stretch all the way down the front of the body. And as you exhale, pull your knees into your chest, give them a hug with your hands and have a gentle rock from side to side. Easing off the spine, gentle massage. And from here we always finish yoga with something called shavasana. Either dropping your heels out towards the corners of the mat, toes pointing outwards, hands away from your body, back of your hands down on the mat or the floor, shoulders back, head down, eyes closed. Or if you find that hard on the spine, you can bring your feet up onto the mat, bend the knees and drop the knees inwards together so that they support each other. And you're just going to rest in shavasana. If you've lost your focus, bring it back to your breathing, trying to count to your inhale and your exhale and keeping it even. This is your time to thank your body and congratulate yourselves on achieving a yoga session. Try to notice how you feel. Be proud of yourselves. If it feels good, on the next inhale, stretch your arms up over your head, point your toes away. As you exhale, pull your knees into your chest and have one little last hug, rocking from side to side. When you are ready, roll over to your right side in the fetal position. Gradually, pushing your hands into the mat, come back to a seated position, either with your eyes closed or your gaze low. As you inhale, lift your arms up, palms together. Bring your thumbs to your forehead center for kind and loving thoughts. To your lips for kind and loving words. And to your heart center for kind and loving intentions. Dropping forehead to fingertips and your fingertips down towards Mother Earth. My soul honours your soul. Thank you for your practice. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Well done.